League. Not quite yet old enough to enjoy all the trappings of Sin City, but they're young, they're rich, they're doing fine. It's Cooper Flagg and Dylan Harper, top 2 picks in the NBA draft this year. Let's start with Cooper Flagg, who was absolutely hooping. The pull-up 3, then driving with the left off glass. Then Dylan Harper showing not his offense, but first his defense.
Oh!
Getting up to reject Ryan Nembhard. It was a 4-on-1 break, and Harper playing defense, but this is why he was drafted number 2 overall. You know, Scooby, he's a lefty. Kind of reminds me of Jalen Brunson when he gets in the lane.
Good point.
And hoops like that. Look at the Euro step off glass from Harper. He had 16 points in just 20 minutes. Then Flagg catching the lob and throwing it down in the second half. Now, they were trailing at this point, but, I mean, it's Summer League. We want to see individual performances, and Flagg absolutely delivered in the fourth. How about a catch-and-shoot triple? Later, he knocks down another 3. Spurs would get the win 76-69, but Flagg had a huge game.
Just feels different. I think, you know, it's a new environment, new setting. You know, they want to see me be aggressive and do that type of stuff. So I was trying my best to just be aggressive and assert myself early, get to the line. I think I did that a lot better today, just getting to the line, getting fouled, and that helped me to get comfortable and get settled in.
All right, Mavs lost. Who cares? Cooper Flagg looks solid. Everybody cares. He had just 10 points in his Thursday debut against the Lakers, but then rebounded for 31 last night against the Spurs.
Wow.
That's tied for the most in a game by a number 1 overall pick in Summer League history, tying the mark set by John Wall back in 2010.
On Saturday, we saw the NBA's best rookies face off. The top 2 picks of the 2025 NBA draft, Cooper Flagg and Dylan Harper, and it lived up to the hype. Flagg exploded for a game-high 31 points, showcasing some electrifying dunks. Meanwhile, the number 2 pick, Dylan Harper, made his long-awaited debut after a minor groin injury, scoring 16 points in just 20 minutes. The two will play each other a lot for the years to come, and this is only the beginning. So to break down this 1 versus 2 matchup, we bring in our NBA front office insider, Bobby Marks. Bobby, what stood out to you the most about Cooper Flagg's second Summer League performance?
How much time do we have? I think what stood out is how much better he got from game 1 to game 2, and I think there's certainly a comfort level. What you saw for Cooper Flagg, the one thing I wanted to see with him is the ability to go left, and as you see right here, that's the one concern scouts had, and it felt like he made it a mission for every one of his drives to go left. Once he was able to go get downhill like we saw in this game, it kind of just opened up everything for Cooper. He was able to make some shots, certainly getting to the rim here. But as Summer League, as you know, it's about experimenting. It's about getting better each game, and I think we certainly saw that with Cooper Flagg in game 2.
Yeah, and to your point, Flagg said after the game that they want to see him be more aggressive. So 8 for 13 at the free throw line is reflective of that, but he wasn't happy about his missed free throws. He said his mom is going to be upset with him, so you got to love that about him and his mom. Now, you mentioned the improvement of Flagg from game 1 to game 2. So outside of that, who is one player that impressed you the most so far in the Summer League?
Well, it's the one player we talked about a lot last year, and we haven't really talked about this year. It's Bronny James. And you're going to look at his box score the last 2 games, and 7 for 18, and he scored 22 points. What's impressed me the most is his defense. And I think we saw that last night against New Orleans, where he had 2 steals, he had a block here, and that's going to be his calling card as far as for him to get into the NBA. Is from a defensive angle here as far as in a thin Laker backcourt. So I like what I saw with Bronny James. I like what I saw with Terrence Shannon Jr., who Minnesota is going to rely a lot on this year, especially with the loss of Nickeil Alexander-Walker.
Yeah, and that's what's so fun about Summer League. You get to watch these young players get a lot of run and improve throughout the summer. Bobby, we appreciate you waking up early with us. I mean, it is early in Las Vegas, and here you are. I hope you can get a nap in. Appreciate your time.
Thanks.
In the Vegas Summer League, LeBron James, the 40-year-old, exercised a $52.6 million player option with the Lakers last month. He's entering a record 23rd NBA season, but quotes from Clutch Sports CEO Rich Paul the day Bron opted in sparked some intrigue about Bron's future in LA. Dave McMenamin is in Vegas with more.
The question on everybody's mind is, where will LeBron be playing next season? What caused the speculation was a statement by LeBron's agent, Clutch Sports CEO Rich Paul, given to ESPN's Shams Charania when James opted into the final year of his contract with the Lakers for $53 million last month, when Paul said LeBron intends to play on a championship contender for whatever time is left in his career. Now, I've checked in with both the Lakers and LeBron's camp on this one. For the Lakers, it's business as usual. They have motivation to compete at the highest level and maximize not just LeBron's timeline, but they want to compete now with Luka Doncic. Some have posited that the true cause of this situation was the Lakers not offering LeBron a contract beyond next season, but Rich Paul told me that they never asked for one. Paul also made it clear to me that LeBron has not asked for a trade, and Paul hasn't even discussed the possibility of wanting a trade in the future with the Lakers. Paul did tell me that 4 teams contacted him with interest in trading for LeBron, though. Now, I asked LeBron just before tip-off if he'd like to join the broadcast to discuss everything, and he told me, quote, "I ain't got nothing to talk about."
Hey, we got a lot to talk about with LeBron entering an unprecedented 23rd NBA season. And if last year showed us anything, it's that he's barely lost a step. The King passed Michael Jordan's 2002-03 season with the Wizards as the oldest player to lead his team in total points in the season. Bron topped the Lakers last year.
Oops. Starting in Texas, the Spurs and Wizards worked out a trade to send Kelly Olynyk to San Antonio. They also signed Luke Cornett in free agency. Janae, how will this center depth help Victor Wembanyama?
Look, this allows their front court to be more flexible because one thing that Victor Wembanyama likes to do is have the rock in his hands, especially when it comes to transition or even being able to shoot from 3. I know he only shot 35% from 3, but now you have a little bit more versatility. I also like them surrounding him with seasoned vets, but most importantly, they've got young talent. This is a team not to be played with in my great state of Texas.
Next to Dallas, sticking in Texas, Shams reported that Anthony Davis had a procedure to repair a detached retina.
Oh.
He should be ready for training camp, according to Shams. The Mavs were crushed by injuries last year. Ramona, is it time for goggles?
Yes, it's been time for goggles. He has a history of getting poked in the eye. I don't know why this seems to happen to him a lot, but back in 2020, look what LeBron James told him to do. LeBron James puts up this tweet, says, Anthony Davis, side by side with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. It's time for goggles, man.
All right, finally reports out of Denver that 3-time MVP Nikola Jokic will not seek a contract extension this summer, delaying talks until next year. Jokic has 3 years left on his current deal, including a player option for 27-28. Young Masuk reported on this story yesterday and joins us now here. So, Omi, walk us through this contract scenario with Jokic, and should Denver fans have any cause for concern?
Yeah, and talking to people around the league, and including people from the Nuggets, there's zero concern about this being something like Nikola Jokic left the door open for other teams. This was expected because next year he could sign for a 4th year up to maybe as much as close to $80 million more. Now, if you're a team like the Clippers, who have cleared cap space to maintain flexibility, you will have this hope, perhaps, that maybe, look, something unforeseen could happen. Maybe Nikola Jokic won't be happy with how things end up in Denver. But look at the moves they've done in the last few months. They changed coaches from Michael Malone to Adelman. Adelman gave Jokic more of a voice in those huddles. You saw him being active there. They changed GMs. They went and swapped Michael Porter Jr. for Cam Johnson. They went and got Tim Hardaway Jr. They brought back Bruce Brown, a guy they loved in the locker room, helped them win the title. All of these moves, and Valanciunas, who they still is trending in the right direction. They believe, they're holding him to play next season to be his backup. These are all moves they're doing to make Jokic happy, and by all indications, the Denver Nuggets are not concerned about this at all, that they expected him to wait till next season.
All right, so Jokic could be a free agent as early as 2027, and Ramona, Ohm mentioned the Clippers, but there are a number of teams that are trying to look at space for 2027. How do you see this kind of all shaking out with some of these teams?
I mean, I see the Clippers, and they've got spot for 2 max players in a couple of years. The Lakers are hoarding cap space. In this era, we all just got done covering free agency, and free agency is mostly done by the time we get to July 1st because you can negotiate with your own player if they haven't signed an extension yet, or if you can either the day after the finals end, right? And I don't know what they're holding this cap space for. Like, I like the idea. If this was 2015, I like the idea of
even 16.
That cap space could actually lead to landing another superstar.
You know what it is, Ramona? I talked to someone today who said it's no longer about free agency anymore and waiting for a free agent to become available and you keep that cap space. Players sign the extensions, get paid, get their money, and then if they want to move, they force a trade. And I think that's where
having the space to absorb the contract,
right, but also having manageable contracts that you can trade, several role players that might be attractive on decent, and then you add in the picks. And if you don't have the assets and picks, you find 5 teams to come in a deal to work something out.
Because wait.
NBA record 17.
Right, because here's the thing. Like, I know a lot of people certainly were stunned by the way the Doncic trade went down because of the lack of assets and traded from a draft capital perspective. But the Mavs still got Anthony Davis. Like, you still need one of those kinds of guys, an all-star caliber player, to fetch yourself potentially a Jokic or whoever could be available, another star player.
I suppose you can use your cap space to acquire those type of assets that you would use in a trade like that. But you see that list and we all go, oh, wow, they could all be free. They're not really going to get to free agents.
No.
They're probably going to do extensions. And that's one of the things in this new CBA. And we saw this last year with De'Aaron Fox, where we kind of expected him to sign that. When he didn't do it, it left the Kings in a position where you got your answer a little too early. Like, maybe you don't want to know if he's gonna extend with you early, because then you have to trade him if he's not going to extend with you. And we're going to see that in a couple of weeks when Luka Doncic has this question for the Lakers in the start of August.
Right.
He can do that extension. If he doesn't do that, now you have your answer.
Right. All bets are off.
All bets are off.
Yeah. And by the way, Giannis could also be a free agent in 2027 as well.
Oh, yes. You know what? When I think about Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets, I like the moves they made. I do think that the same way that we talked about the Lakers running into the Nuggets ran into the best defense in the NBA, the Oklahoma City Thunder, and that changed the outlook of how successful their season was. So now if they're able to avoid a team like that, a buzzsaw, then maybe you'll look and say, like, okay, we are still championship caliber and competitive, because right now, that man is the toughest guard in basketball.
No doubt.
Positionless, when you think about it. So that's where I'm at. Like, as long as he's happy, the pieces are around for them to get better and to compete. And as long as you avoid maybe some of the stiffest competition in the West, then they're in pretty good position.
Well, and he's become more vocal in the huddles we've all seen. Yeah. Maybe, I don't know, this is reckless speculation, maybe he's become more vocal behind the scenes too.
Yeah, well, and look, and to Ramona's point, if you are a conspiracy theorist or somebody who has wishful thinking, if Luka Doncic does not sign an extension, who is Luka Doncic very close to?
Oh, Jokic. Yeah. Oh, I love it. Reckless speculation. That's what we do here in the summer. All right, Kareem, Shaq, Dwight, AD, all top drafted big men who ended up in purple and gold, and now DeAndre Ayton joins that list. Ayton was introduced with the Lakers yesterday. Let's take a listen.
It feel like a video game. Like somebody set it up. I think somebody set this up, but like honestly, it's an opportunity that I won't take for granted. Luka's a once in a generation player, and I'm happy to be his teammate. Hearing how much shape he's been in, he's super ripped, and I'm finally glad to be on his side. While he's doing all of that, it's a different type of drive that I've been wanting to express for a long time, and I think this is the perfect timing. Here in the purple and gold. And it's a platform that I cannot run from. I can show what I really am and just be around some greats to really emphasize that for me as well. And, it is a lot of fuel in me, to prove the whole world wrong.
That suit game was strong yesterday.
It was.
Andre Ayton, wasn't it? All right, lucky for us, we also have a former #1 overall pick here to take a look at what's going on in LA with the Lakers, Chiney Ogwumike. So, Chiney, how do you see Ayton kind of rounding out with the Lakers?
Let me talk nerdy to you. The Lakers have their long-awaited center at the center position. And as we focus on him here, because I want you guys to see, this is the impact this man will have. He actually led the NBA as a screener in points per pick and roll. So if he sets a screen, he actually generates the most points. But as we go to the tape, I'll show you why he's such a tremendous lob threat. It starts with his angles on screens, and it actually starts with his hands as well. Let's go back to when he was with the Suns. This is with one of the greatest point guards of all time. Sets a solid screen. Now you have 2, 3 people attached. Look at his arm. He's like, hey, lead the pass here, lob threat. You guys remember that value. But now fast forward to his time with the Trailblazers. I love how he adjusts his positioning on screens that allows guards to snake. Solid screen right here. He's very patient, methodical with how he cuts to the basket. And then again, look at the arm, the extension. There he goes. He leads his passers. So it's simple baskets for him. And if you think about the numbers, this is the type of offense that the Lakers want to hold down. Ayton actually triple. If you think, let's get our graphic up here. I'm not sure if we have the graphic. laughing. But if you think about Luka Doncic and LeBron James, Luka Doncic, here it is. He's second in the NBA since he entered the league when it comes to points off of lobs, generating those lobs and those assists. And then also LeBron James is fifth in that category. So if there's one player that is perfectly tailored to be the guy that they need, especially with these two stars offensively, these guys, future Hall of Famers, it's DeAndre Ayton, but he will have to bring his A game, Ayton and his A game.
All right, Chiney, awesome stuff as always. Let's welcome in ESPN NBA reporter covering the Los Angeles Lakers, our guy Dave McMiniman. So, Dave, we've seen DeAndre Ayton go from franchise cornerstone as the #1 pick to somewhat relative obscurity in Portland. What are you hearing or assessing about his fit with the Lakers?
Yeah, DeAndre said it, George, at his introductory press conference. He said when you're not on a winner in this league, you're forgotten about. And certainly this is an opportunity for DeAndre to reestablish who he was, the promise of being that #1 pick who was a key cog on a Phoenix Suns team that was 2 wins away from the championship, on a Suns team that followed up that season by winning 64 games, getting the #1 overall seed in the NBA. Obviously, the Suns gave up on that player for a variety of reasons, and over the last couple years, only 57 wins combined with the Blazers in his time there in Portland. He sees this as a chance to get back on the trajectory of being someone who's known for the 16 points, almost 60% from the field, 10 rebounds a game. And for the Lakers, they see this as a great opportunity because he fits into their cap space they had available, only about $8.5 million contract, and they hold on to their expiring contracts. They hold on to their 2031 first-round pick. They hold on to Dalton Connect. That means they can continue to get this team better, whether that be through the rest of the offseason or leading up to the trade deadline in January and February, because, again, this is about trying to get the most out of this group and turn them into a contender.
Dave, what else stood out to you from that press conference yesterday?
Well, it was not just DeAndre Ayton coming and joining the Lakers. It was Jake LaRavia. And several instances, both of those guys mentioned LeBron and Luka. It was almost a given, certainly a decided factor that those guys are going to be on the team next year. And I understand that LeBron James' agent, Rich Paul, gave a statement to Shams Charania when he opted into his deal for next year, basically saying that he's going to be monitoring every move that the Lakers make and wants to play for a championship contender for the rest of his days in the NBA. And I understand that Luka Doncic has a contract decision come August 2nd when the Lakers can offer a massive extension and put it on his plate. But these guys, when they were surveying the market, and they both had other options out there, they're joining the Lakers under the assumption, under the given decision that both those guys are going to be on the team. And I think we need to start thinking about the 25-26 Lakers in the same manner, that we're going to be looking at a group that has the same core as last year with LeBron James, Luka Doncic, and Austin Reeves with some new faces around them.
Dave, awesome stuff as always, man. Thanks for the time. All right.
You got it, George.
Let's take it from the court back to here to the desk. All right, so Ramona, we'll start with you. The Lakers roster starting to crystallize a little bit at the moment. What needs to happen for LA to kind of take that next step?
The first step is to make sure LeBron James is cool.
That's fair.
Okay, his social media has been subtweeting and a little angst, I guess.
Welcome home hat.
Welcome hat. He's in Cleveland. Proper attire.
Golf. A lot of golf.
A lot of golf.
Yeah.
Let's just make sure he's cool. But I also think they need some more perimeter defense. They lost, obviously, Dorian Finney-Smith. That was somebody they went out and traded for last season. And we have Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves as your starting backcourt. You need some help on the perimeter defensively. This league is a long, athletic league, and LeBron was in that defensive role last year. He was like the middle linebacker, I guess. He's almost playing center a lot of the times. I don't think he's going to be in that role now that they have DeAndre Ayton, but they still need some more athletes on the perimeter.
And that sprinkles over to pace. I think this is a league that's dictated. We saw in NBA finals that were on both ends, offensively and defensively. The pace is what dictated those types of matchups. So I think if finding the way to compete, especially with their young talent, surrounded by Luka, who knows he likes to walk it up, and LeBron, who's more methodical, figuring out that offense. We have 1 year under the belt of JJ Redick. I think he's going to, we all know he's going to dive into this. He's going to dive into the paint. He's been there.
Yeah.
But I do think that this is going to be, we already had the big trade, people acclimated, we got enough on tape. Now let's see how we can actually compete now that we filled the biggest hole.
Yeah, I just texted with two people in the Western Conference, one league personnel guy and one league personnel guy and one coach. And they're split. One person said, bad move. Because they said, like, look, Ayton, the time when they went to the finals, which was a long time ago in Phoenix, it's like almost
2021,
right? Yeah. That was the deepest paint shots we saw Ayton do in his career. And since then, now he's more like a guy that just kind of floats, pick and pop, things like that. Yep. He said all the right things yesterday in the press conference, but where will he be, basically in February? How will LeBron feel about him? Will he be that engaged all the time? Will they light a fire under him? Yep. And the thing is, if, as this one person said, if he's going to have those type of deep paint shots, well, then Luka can work with that. Luka will make him look good. As one other person said, though, given the options, this was a great pickup for the Lakers because they needed a big. But the whole thing is, where will J.J. Redick be and how will he feel? Who will he finish with? Is he going to trust DeAndre Ayton in those times when Ayton tends to float sometimes?
Yeah, well, look, on my radio show here on ESPN LA, got a shameless plug there, Sedano and Cap on 710 ESPN, we had Jason Quick on of The Athletic, who wrote a recent story about some of the issues that went on with DeAndre Ayton in Portland. And talent has never been the question with him. It's desire that's been the question.
I mean, Anthony Davis, one of the best rebounders in the game, one of the best defensive bigs in the game. And he's in Dallas now. And, like, DeAndre, those are big shoes to fill. He's not going to fill those shoes on those ends of the court, but he's got to do better at rebounding, rolling hard to the basket, and playing some defense back on that back line.
Yeah, we'll see how it all works out. Maybe it'll be like what Chiney said on that LED, and Lakers will be great. So.
You're watching NBA Today.
We welcome you to the Emirates NBA Cup Championship. Gilgeous Alexander has it. Oh, ball fake and slam. Giannis, the spin move, goes inside. He's in attack mode. Oh, as Lillard knocks that one down. Turns off the turnover. Drives, goes inside, coast to coast. And Lillard answers back-to-back threes.
Winning feels good when you're able to come to the game and execute your game plan, and the outcome is exactly what you want it to be.
The turnaround continues as they win the 2024 Emirates NBA Cup.
As I mentioned before the break, the Bucks were the second ever NBA Cup champions last season. Giannis won NBA Cup MVP as they defeated the Thunder.
That feels like a while ago.
Yeah. And we have the group set up for the 2025 NBA Cup, starting with the Eastern Conference. Group A features the Cavs, the Pacers, Hawks, Raptors, and Wizards.
Okay.
Group B has the Celtics, Pistons, Magic, Nets, and Sixers.
That's tough.
That one's really tough.
And lastly, Group C, this one looks perhaps a little easier. Knicks, reigning champ Bucks, Bulls, Heat, and Hornets.
Quick take, group of death is B.
Yeah. And the West, Group A, has the 2025 NBA champs OKC Thunder with the Wolves, the Kings, the Suns, and the Jazz.
Okay.
Group B features the Lakers, Clippers, Grizzlies, Mavs, and Pels. And then Group C has the Rockets, Nuggets, Warriors, Blazers, and Spurs. That's the group of death.
Yeah, right there.
Okay.
Why do my Rockets? Come on, man.
Sure to be another great tournament for sure.
It's tough too, though.
And now we welcome in 2021 NBA champ and 2024 NBA Cup champ, Bobby Portis. Bobby, thank you for joining us, man. First off, congrats on the new deal. You just re-signed with the Bucks this offseason on a 3-year deal. What made you want to continue your journey in Milwaukee?
Man, first off, man, appreciate y'all for having me on the show, man. Y'all haven't invited me in so long, man. I didn't think y'all like me, I didn't think y'all like me no more. Then I can't come on.
Bobby.
I can't come on the show.
We love you,
Bobby. You guys for a few minutes, man. No, I'm just playing, man. But man, just the atmosphere, man. Just the culture, man. Just being in Milwaukee kind of helped shape and make my career, man. Starting off my career kind of rocky. Going to 3 stops. Played with the Bulls for 4 years. Played with it's the Wizards for like 2 months. Nobody really talks about that stint. Played with the Knicks for half a season, and then finally finding a home in Milwaukee where it's comfortable playing basketball. Obviously, it's a winning culture, winning team. We're always in the playoffs, always have a chance to win a championship. Playing with great players, have a chance to build a legacy there. All those things kind of just hit home for me, man. And not wanting to move all my things as well, man. Got to think about all the places I can go. Do I really want to be 30 years old, moving all my stuff across the country? Nah, probably not, man. So I kind of just stay put where I'm at, man.
I love it, for sure. I get it. No doubt. Moving stinks, I'll tell you that. All right, Listen, your Bucks went undefeated in Cup play last year. You heard us do the reveal a moment ago. Let's take a look at the East Group C, where you guys will be. All right, so it's you guys, the Knicks, the Bulls, the Heat, and the Hornets. What are your initial thoughts?
I like it, man. I love the whole NBA Cup thing only because, man, you know, you know, when guys score at the end of the game, guys get mad.
Yeah.
Remember that little thing they had a thing? Now it's about point spread. It's like I played in USA ball in 2023, and Coach Curry would just talk about winning by as many points. Don't get comfortable winning by as many points. It takes you to like a European type style, right? Winning by, you know, it's a total amount of points matter, and all those things. So it keeps you locked in. It keeps you, gives you a early incentive throughout the season. So I love it. I love our group. It's going to be tough, obviously, in these type of settings. You know, any team can make it. So every team feels like they have a chance to win. So that's what makes the Cup so good, and it's fun to play in, man. And it's fun winning 500K. I can't sit here and act like that it's not fun just seeing 500K just show up too. So I gotta throw that out there.
Yeah, no doubt. That bag it matters. There's no doubt, especially for those young guys who don't make a lot of money, for sure. So, all right. Well, listen, you guys made a big splash. Speaking of money, in free agency, signing longtime Indiana Pacers big man Miles Turner. Look, there was a little bit of a rivalry brewing between the Bucks and Pacers these past.
It's still a rivalry, man. It's still a rivalry.
Okay,
it's not going nowhere.
Okay.
It's not going nowhere.
Okay.
That's part of the reason why I want to play with the Bucks still, man. I want to still play against those guys, man. I like playing against the Pacers, man. That's not no secret, man. We don't like them, they don't like us. Ain't no secret.
Okay, I love it. I love
no
it's
secret.
still a rivalry. But how does
Ain't no
Miles
secret.
fit in now, considering now he switched sides?
I mean, sure, I talked to him the other day, man, on the phone. I finally broke down and called him. I called him twice, and he ain't pick up. Right? So I texted him. I sent him a little text message. I'm like, hey, man, this BP, man, just checking in, seeing how everything is going. Call me. You know what I'm saying? He called me, and I'm like, hey, bro, like NBA is kind of crazy how this whole thing kind of shapes and, you know, turns around. Me and Miles are actually in the same draft, too, 2015. So shout out to my 2015 class, too. Got to give us some love, man. We still got about 15, 16 guys bumping in the league, man.
All right, no doubt about that. Shout out to the class of 2015. You also played with Dame Lillard the past 2 seasons, who was recently bought out, obviously dealing with a tough injury. What did he bring to the Bucks in your time there, and how do you guys look to try to replace him in any way you can?
Man, Damian Lillard, man, I can't say, you know what I'm saying, too much about him, man. He's just, you know, just one of the realest teammates I ever had. Just being around him just made me better. You know, he's a, you know, selfless guy, gives himself up for the betterment of the team, leader. You know, he's just play through all the things he played through this year. You know, the calf injury, he had blood clots, come back and play. He even sent us a text message, you know, before the playoffs, you know, while the playoffs were starting, and we had lost the first 2 games, and then after the 3rd game, he said he's gonna give it a go. He gonna just telling us first and foremost in the day, he gonna put his body on the line for us out there. So, you know, I can't say too much about him, man. That's one of my favorite teammates I ever had. My 2 favorite point guards in the league I ever had was Ray John Rondo and now Damian Lillard. So he definitely my guy, man. I always try to get cool with my point guard because I like the ball too. So you know that.
Yeah.
You know that.
You know how to do it. You know how it works. All right, now let me ask you about you and Giannis. The last 2 players left from that 21 title team. Giannis has said he wants to win another championship in Milwaukee. Why does that partnership with you and Giannis work so well?
Man, I just think it's just around 34, man. You got to have, you know, spacers, right? You got to have guys that can space the floor. You got to have guys that can open up driving lanes for him. When you play with him, man, like, you know, you might watch on TV, just watch the things that he does, but we kind of give ourselves up to let him be, you know, who he is, man. Sprint to the corner, getting deep corner, let him get